blocks. If you know you need a strap for binding your hands behind your back, grab all of that. And then come into a comfortable and steady seat. I have gotten in the habit this past week of sitting in the way that I don't normally sit when I cross my legs, to see if that can begin to feel normal. It hasn't happened yet. Clearly need to do it a lot longer. And it's funny because I had an anatomy teacher in one of my first teacher trainings said that if we always sit with our legs crossed the same way, we can create a sacral share. So it will cause a deviation in the levelness, if that's the word, of your pelvis. So it's good to mix it up. If your partner or if you have any male friends that sit with their wallets in their back pocket, encourage them to take the wallet out, because that is also going to create issues, because they often would put their wallet in one pocket and sit. So that's just random tidbit for you to spread around the world and save people's sacrals. So once you are comfortable, and you're sitting up nice and tall with the natural curves of your spine present, if you feel completely at ease, go ahead and close your eyes to any degree of comfort. And you can either keep your hands down on your thighs, or you can take the chin mudra, where you bring your index and thumb together and gently extend the 3 remaining fingers and place your palms to face up, resting them on the tops of the knees or the thighs. Or you can take Dhyana mudra, where you take your left hand and place the right hand in it and let your thumb tips touch. Both mudras create a circuit where you can focus and center yourself and concentrate. Bring a sense of calm. And once you've got your strong and steady seat and your mudra of choice, begin to focus on your breath. Just breathing deeply and fully here. If you are familiar with Ujjayi breath, you can go ahead and ease into your Ujjayi breath, that gentle restriction at the back of the throat. Be mindful of the pause at the top of your inhalation and at the end of your inhalation. If you'd like to release the Ujjayi breath, you can do so now and come back to your regular breathing pattern. You can open your eyes. Release your mudra, take a big breath in and bring your arms up above your head. Bring your palms to meet. And on your exhalation, bring your hands down to the heart center. I'm just going to do that a few more times. Big breath in, sweep it out, really reach, be heavy and anchored in your pelvis. Feel your side body stretch long, and exhale, bring it in. One more time, inhale, sweep it up. And exhale in. Taking it into a side bend, right fingertips to the earth. Inhale, sweep your left arm up, and exhale it over to your right. Inhale through to the center, and exhale over to the other side. Good. Couple more on each side, inhaling it up, and exhale it over. Being mindful not to collapse along the side of the body when you go into the side bend. So keep it think about lifting up and over. And then all the way back up, big breath in, reach it up. Going into a little bit of a twist. So start to twist over to the right. You can take the left hand to the right knee, right fingertips behind the right butt cheek. Take another full breath in and allow that extension of the spine to occur. And on your exhalation, gently draw your navel in, draw the right shoulder blade back, and look over to the right, as far over as you can, not straining, and then looking with the eyes. Feel a gentle stretch through the eyes and through the neck. Stay there for one more full breath in and out. And then anchor down through your pelvis and inhale. Sweep your arms back up, uncurling or untwisting from the base of the spine to the crown. And exhale, twist to the left. I like to imagine a Rubik's Cube, how you would turn it. Since I know that we've all been around 20 years ago, you might know Rubik's Cubes. Full breath in and full breath out here, looking as far over to your left, to the left that is comfortable for your neck. And then inhale, slowly reach it back up, uncurl from the base or untwist from the base of the spine all the way up. And exhale, bring your arms down by the sides of your body. So we're going to go into a little bit of a forward bend here. Stretch your legs out in front of you. So Paschimottanasana. And focus less on rounding the spine, but more on keeping that long extension. So legs out at hips distance. Move the flush of the buttocks back. Anchor and root your sitting bones. Spread your toes wide. Huge breath in, reach it up. And on your exhalation, hinge from your hips. And then let the hands fall wherever they may. So I'm not really focusing on rounding. More keeping a nice long spine. So keeping the chest lifted. Push through the balls of your feet and your heels so you feel the opening through the back of the legs and maybe even into the lower back a little bit. Breathe into the back and sides of your rib cage. Much like an accordion, feel it expand outward. And as you exhale, draw your navel in, really getting that, focusing on bringing the hip points towards each other to activate your deep, deep core muscles. Ground down heavy through your legs. Inhale, reach your arms all the way up. And exhale, let it all come down. Make your way onto your hands and knees and jump right into your cat and cow movements. Spreading your fingers super wide, walking the wrists back so they're underneath your shoulders and your knees are underneath your hips. Toes can be tucked or untucked, up to you. Take a breath in, extend through the spine, moving from the tailbone to the crown. And exhale, round. So as you move through your cat and your cow, incorporate the protraction or the separating and the retraction, bringing together of your shoulder blades. So you open up the mid upper back a little bit more and start to loosen up the shoulder blades. So when you go into your cow pose, draw the shoulder blades towards each other. And then slide them down towards your hips as you curl your heart forward and up and lift your sitting bones up. And then do the reverse when you go into cow pose. Separate them, push yourself away from the mat, feel them separate. Your chin is moving towards your chest and your pubic bones are moving towards your belly button. Couple more in that way, slow and really mindful. Good. And then come back to center with a nice long neutral spine. Keeping your toes tucked for just a moment, or tucking them if they weren't. Sit the bum back towards the heels. Walk your hands further forward and come up onto your fingertips. Bend all of your fingers so that you create a lot more stronger base, if you will. And now press your fingertips down into the earth. Breathe into the sides and back of your rib cage. Feel it expand. And on your exhalation, draw your navel in. With each breath in, open up the rib cage as much as you can and stretch it. Feel it expand and lift away, or move away rather from your pelvis, creating space from the base of the ribs to the top of your hips. And trying to maintain that space with the exhalation, not allowing the flexion that naturally happens when you exhale. Allow your hands to come back down to the earth and untuck your toes, preparing for a modified half series, which is like a little mini vinyasa. But keeping your hands actively pressing into the mat, you can spread your toes and press them into the mat as well. On your next in-breath, lift your gaze and shift forward into a kneeling plank. On your exhalation, you're lowering into an Ardha Chaturanga. Inhale to press yourself back up to the plank. Exhale, sit it back. So we're going to do a few more of these, moving with the breath. Really good to use the Ujjayi breath here. It's a very powerful breath, very supportive to help you move back and forth. So the breath initiates the movement. So start to inhale and then move forward. Start to exhale and lower into your Ardha Chaturanga. Press yourself back up and exhale, sit back into your Balasana Child's Pose. Let's do 2 more of these, moving at your pace. And I didn't say it before, but if at any point in time you need to take a break, feel free. Last one here. Inhaling forward. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press it up. Tuck your toes, shift your hips back towards the heels, and now lift your hips all the way up into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Before you start to get jiggy with it, I don't know where that came from, but before you start to move, just make sure you've got your foundation set. Check your feet. Make sure they are at hips distance, or perhaps you need to go a little bit wider. Bend through your knees. Check your hands. Spin your biceps up, ears along, or being covered, if you will, by your biceps. Ribs are in. Now start to move your inner thighs back and your sitting bones up. You can still keep that knee bend, and the heels are gently moving down towards the earth. Now you can start to march in place. Alternate bending your knees. Just continuing to open up the body. Maybe shift your hips from side to side as you do this to open up the side bodies a little bit more. Good. Couple more on each side. And then come to stillness. Take an inhale and ripple your body forward into a plank. Nice, strong, high plank, squeezing everything. And exhale, lift your hips up and back. 2 more. Inhale, ripple forward. And exhale back. Last one. Inhale forward. And exhale up and back into your downward facing dog. Step your feet as wide as your mat. And we're walking the hands back to move into our functional forward fold. So make sure your feet are flat on the mat and the edges of your feet are lining up with the edges of your mat. Like literally make sure that that's happening. Bend your knees to any degree. And when you bend them, make sure that your knees aren't collapsing in, but they're staying stacked over your ankles. Move your inner thighs back and then hinge the hips back. You're going to feel as though you're going to fall when the weight shifts into your heels, but actively, mindfully reach forward with your hands and your arms and come up onto your fingertips, just as you did in that active child's pose. Same thing here that we did there. Breathe into the rib cage, feel it lift away from the pelvis. And on your exhalation, keep that lift and buoyancy, draw your navel in. Big breath in, fill all the way up. And exhale, navel in towards your spine. Really feeling your deep transverse muscles kick in. Couple more breaths just like this. Big breath in. Exhale, Draw the navel in, hip points move in towards each other. Feel that core set action kick in, supporting your lower back. And now lift your gaze towards your hands, heel toward your feet back to hips distance, and walk back out to a plank. Now walk your feet in towards your hands, moving into Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold deeply. Go ahead and bend your knees. Sweep your arms up, Utkatasana chair. Come all the way up on your inhalation, and now exhale, sit back chair. We're flowing with our chair. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, sit back. You can exhale through the mouth, just to add a little bit more power, a little bit more heat. You can even come up onto the balls of your feet and exhale, drop the heels and sit back. Your choice. You can go faster, or you can keep at a moderate pace. Depends on how you feel this morning. I did mention in my caption, stoking the fire. So I highly recommend picking up the pace just a smidge, even if it's just 5 rounds. Three, 2, 1. Inhale, reach it up. And exhale, heels down, hands to heart. Pause here for a moment. I don't know about you, but I feel like my entire body is vibrating right now. Full breath in, full breath out. Release your arms by your side. If you're not quite at the top of your mat, go ahead and make your way all the way there. Coming into your Tadasana pose. Take a full breath in, sweep your arms up. And exhale, hinge at the hips and come into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and step your left foot to the back of the mat. Rest your knee down. Draw your right hip back and hug into the midline. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Anjaneyasana. Exhale into your downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale and roll forward into plank. Modify and rest your knees if you wish. Exhale, lower into your chaturanga. Come all the way down and take it into Bhujangasana, Cobra pose. Slowly release, tuck your toes and press yourself up through your plank, back to downward facing dog. Pick your left leg up and step it to the top of your mat. Once you get it there, rest your right knee down. Draw the heel and knee towards each other and inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, fingertips to the floor and step forward into your forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold deeply, bend your knees and inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, bring your hands into your heart. Second side, inhale, sweep it all the way up. And exhale it all the way down. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, right foot steps back. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, move forward into your plank, Palankasana, rest your knees. And exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, puff up the back body and lift up into your Cobra. Slowly release on your exhale. Tuck your toes. Inhale through your plank and exhale into downward facing dog. Step your right leg all the way up, or reach it all the way up, and step it forward now to the top of your mat. Resting your left knee down. Inhale, sweep it all the way up. And exhale, fingertips to the floor. Ground down through the right leg and step all the way forward into your fold. You can place your palms to the shins and inhale into your Ardha Uttanasana, creating that nice long spine. Exhale, fold deeply. Bend your knees and inhale, sweep it all the way up. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Release your arms by your side. Bring your arms up. Catch a hold of your left wrist with your right hand. Huge breath in here and exhale up and over to the right. Inhale back up to the middle, switch your grip, and exhale up and over to your left. Inhale, release, reach all the way up, maybe look up. And exhale, hinge at your hips, come into your fold. Inhale halfway.
Exhale, left foot steps back, rest the knee. Take a huge breath in, sweep your arms up. On your exhalation, wrap your left arm underneath your right. Just lower the right shoulder a little bit and come into eagle arms, Garudasana. So option one is to stay here where you hug yourself, or come into the single or full bind. Ground down through your legs and pelvis and inhale. Protract your shoulder blades, lift the elbows up, and now lift, curl the heart forward and up and come into a little bit of a back bend. Hold it here, full breath in, full breath out. Inhale, slowly unwind your hands, plant them and step it back on your exhalation into downward facing dog. Inhale, shift forward into a plank. You can lower your knees or not, your call. Exhale into your chaturanga. Inhale into your up dog or cobra. Exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. Pick your left leg up, bend your knee and open up your hip without letting the right rib cage, or should I say armpit, collapse. So keep it lifted. And exhale, step your left foot to the top of your mat. Rest the right knee down. Take a huge breath in and sweep your left arm all the way forward. And as you exhale, draw the head of the arm bone back and open up to the inside of your left thigh. Bring in your left arm alongside your left ear. You can float your right knee off if you wish. Squeeze the inner thighs in so that the left knee stays stacked over the left ankle and your right heel stays pointing up towards the ceiling. Full breath in here. Keep reaching your hand and your left hand and your right foot as far away from each other, creating a whole bunch of length along the left side of the body. And now exhale, rest the left hand down and step it forward into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold deeply, bend your knees, and inhale, sweep it all the way up. And exhale, bring your hands into your heart. Second side. Huge breath in, sweep it all the way up. And exhale it all the way down. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, right foot to the back of your mat, rest your knee. Inhale all the way up. And this time now, wrap your right arm underneath your left. Be mindful that the left arm is going to be a little bit higher the shoulder because it's on top. So just gently draw it down. Now go ahead and create your bind, whichever version serves you best. Take a huge breath in, protract and lift your elbows up. And exhale, hold it here. Really hug into the midline. You want that lower back support. So really draw the hip points towards each other and feel that connection. Huge breath and lift up a little bit more if you can. And exhale, arc it back. One more inhale, last exhale here. Inhale, slowly unwind, plant your hands and exhale into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha. Inhale, roll forward into your plank, full or modify. Exhale into your Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale into Urdhva Mukha, Blablasana or Bhujangasana. And exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. Pick your right leg up, bend your knee and open up your hip, keeping the left armpit full. Step it forward to the top of your mat. Go ahead and rest your left knee. On your next inhalation, reach the right arm way forward and exhale. Draw the head of the arm bone back and roll your right shoulder onto the left, curling into the inside of your right thigh. When you want to, or if you want to, take the left knee off. Hug in a little bit more. Take another big breath in and see if you can spin the left lung, if you will, further towards the inside of your right thigh. Full breath in, full breath out. Now slowly release your right hand to the floor, ground down through your right leg and step forward into your fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees and inhale, sweep all the way up. And exhale, bring your hands into your heart. This is a great opportunity to take a pause, reconnect with the breath, maybe wipe your brow, grab a quick sip of water if you need it. So coming back to the breath, notice whether you've lost that connection. The breath is a really great gauge for where you are in your practice. It lets you know when you need to take a pause and when you can push yourself a little bit more. So turning in for just a moment and noticing where you're at. Have you lost control? Oftentimes we lose control in life and we need to stop, take stock, and then go again. So take a deep breath in, hold it in, and exhale through the mouth. One more big breath in, and exhale it out. Now take a full breath in through your nose, and very, very slowly exhale through your nose. Release your arms by the sides of the body. Take the hands around behind you and interlace your fingers, bending your elbows slightly. Heel of hands do not have to connect, or you can keep the heel of hands relaxed. Just a gentle bend to the knee. Just stretch the hands back and lift your chest up. Avoid allowing your lower back arch to deepen. So you're keeping your spine in neutral. You're just trying to open up the front of the shoulders and the chest. So feel into that broadening sensation across your chest. Take a full breath in. And on your exhalation, hinge at the hips and come into a forward fold. Bend the knees here and let the belly rest on the tops of your thighs. Let the crown of your head root down to the earth. Move your arms up and over just to open up the shoulders a bit more. Draw them up actually towards the ceiling. You should be able to nod your head or shake it out here because your neck is nice and clear from any sort of tension. One more full breath in and out here. Then slowly release. You can deepen the bend of your knees. Plant your hands, and if you're feeling super energetic, jump back to chaturanga or step it back. Inhale, take it into Urdhva Mukha, Svanasana, up dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in, full breath out. Sweep your left leg up, bend your knee and open up your hip. Try to get the heel to touch the butt cheeks. So really, really engage your hamstring here. And now step it forward to the top of your mat. Check your feet, make sure you're at hips distance and you're stable. Once you're steady here, inhale, sweep your upper body up into a high lunge. Hold it here, roll the left hip back and spin the right hip forward, and then hug deeply into the midline. Tighten up your core set. Huge breath in, huge breath out. Pivot on the ball of your back foot, drop your heel and open up into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Just take a moment and check to make sure that your left ankle and knee are aligned and your arms are at shoulder height. Relax through your neck and shoulders. Draw the energy from the earth through the feet, through the legs, and then draw it in towards each other and guide it through the pelvis, through your arms and fingertips, and up through the crown of your head. Feel strong in your warrior pose. Turn your left palm up. Take a huge breath in as you reach your left fingertips up, and exhale, curl it back into Viparita Virabhadrasana, reverse warrior. The right hand can stay lightly rested on your back leg, or bring it around behind you and grab the inside of your left hip crease. Yogi's choice. Inhale your way back to Virabhadrasana 2. And now exhale into Parshva Konasana, side angle, forearm to left thigh. Sweep the right arm all the way around. Just like we did in that side, that twist. Now open up the chest to the long side of the mat. Draw the left hip back and pull it under you. Draw the ribs in, keeping the left side of the body as long as the right. Ribs in, corset on. Did you ladies watch Bridgerton? Imagine you have on a corset. Huge breath in, huge breath out. On your next inhalation, press down through the legs and come all the way up into Tarasana, 5-pointed star. So turn the feet parallel to start, just to get the width. So make sure that your wrists and your ankles are aligned here. Do your best with this. And now lift up the heels and turn them in so the toes are pointing out. Bring your palms up to meet above your head, interlace the fingers, release the index, and now you're gonna bend your knees and drop it down into goddess. Good, hold it here. Release the bind above your head and bring the arms down to shoulder height. Take a huge breath in. On the exhalation, side bend over to your right. Bring the right arm in front of you. The left arm is going to go alongside your ear. Inhale through to the middle and exhale over to the other side. Once again, inhale to the middle. You can be really fluid with this. Exhale to the right. Inhale through the middle. Exhale over to the left. Come back to the middle. Bring your arms back up into our Kali Mudra, interlace the fingers, release the index. Stretch the arms all the way out as you anchor down through the pelvis. Draw the ribs in, push the knees out, keeping them stacked over the ankles. Hold it. Are you shaking yet? I know I am. Then slowly come back up into Tadasana. Bring the left foot so it's parallel to the edge of the mat and turn the right toes to the front of the mat and drop it down into Virabhadrasana 2. Widen in your stance. Hello, Kitty. Widen in your stance if you need to here to get a deeper, wider stretch through your warrior. This means you're going to end up backing me. Don't panic. It's going to be fine. Moving into your reverse warrior, Viparita Virabhadrasana. Turn your right palm to face up. Take a huge breath in, reach up. Imagine you can touch the sky with your fingertips. So really lengthen. You can go as high, as long as you want with the body here because you're anchored strongly through your legs. Left hand to the back leg or to the right hip crease. Do not lose your lunge here. So keep your knee deeply bent and stacking over your ankle. Inhale through to your warrior 2 and exhale it into your side angle. Left arm alongside left ear, right forearm to right thigh. Take an inhale back to Virabhadrasana 2. Exhale, cartwheel your hands down to your mat, step it back to Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Take your vinyasa or rest. Shift forward to plank if you're taking the flow. Exhale, lower into your chaturanga. Inhale into up dog or take cobra. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Full breath in, full breath out. 2 more, inhale. And exhale. Last one, big breath in. And exhale it all the way out. Inhale, sweep your right leg up, bend your knee and open up your hip. Really pull the heel to the butt cheek and open it up, but keep the left armpit lifted. Step it forward to the top of your mat. Carefully place it down. Before you even come up, draw the right hip back and spin the left inner thigh up towards the ceiling. And now slowly press down into the legs. Inhale, sweep it all the way up. Tighten up the corset. Huge breath in. Exhale, ground the back heel into your Virabhadrasana 2. Turn your right palm to face up. Reverse your warrior. Straighten out your right knee into reverse triangle. Press down through the legs and draw your heels magnetically towards each other. Keeping your right leg straight. Inhale to warrior 2 of the upper body and exhale into Trikonasana. Bringing the hands to the outside of the right leg. Draw your right hip back and draw it towards the midline and really extend through the fingertips and the crown of your head. You don't have to look up at the ceiling, but make sure that if you were to just look through the corner of your left eye, you can see your hand. So if you can't see your left hand, bring it forward so you can see it without straining your neck or your eyes. Go ahead and rebend your right knee, round down through the legs, come back up, and now move into Tarasana. Feet parallel. Wrists aligned with heels, or should I say ankles. Bring your hands to your hips. Just making sure that the hips are pointing forward, bend the knees a little bit, and I'll reach the arms along the side of the body, bending all the fingers. Take a huge breath in, and as you do that, hinge the hips back on the exhale, and I'll sweep the arms forward and bring the tips of your fingers to connect, Hakini Mudra. Take another huge breath in. Think of your functional forward fold here. So send the hips back and inner thighs back, reach the mudra forward. Keep doing that. Keep counterbalancing by the stretching of the arms forward and the hinging of the hips back until you come into a nice long flat back. Hold it here. Squeeze your back muscles, press the fingertips into each other. Feel the power of your back muscles holding you up here. Take one more huge breath in, and on your exhalation, release the fingertips to the floor. Huge breath in, heart curls forward. Exhale, fold deeply. You can allow the hands to rest here, or you can grab a hold of opposite elbows and come into a ragdoll in your Prasarita Padottanasana. Up to you. You can even choose to grab a hold of the outside edges of your feet or hold on to the big toes with your peace fingers. If you go for either option, make sure that your elbows are pointing outward and you're clearing your neck so you're moving the shoulders away from the ears. Keeping the neck long, letting the head be heavy so it can provide a bit of traction to your spine. Breathing into the back and sides, and exhale, draw your navel in. On your next inhalation, slowly release. Exhale here, come into a nice long spine. Take the hands to the hips. Get heavy and strong in the legs. And now inhale, reverse swan dive, if you will, all the way back up. Come back into your Tarasana. And now pivot the left foot so that the toes are pointing forward. Rebend, coming into your Virabhadrasana. 2. Turn your left palm to face up. Reverse your warrior. And now take it into your reverse triangle, stretching out, straightening out the left knee to any degree. Take a big breath in. Come back to your Virabhadrasana, 2 arms, but exhale it into Trikonasana triangle. Hand can go to the block here. And again, using your periphery, just make sure your peripheral vision, just make sure you can see your right thumb. So you don't have to turn your head, just turn the eyes, look. If you can't see it, just bring it forward ever so slightly. Notice where the shoulder blade, how it feels. If it feels all bunched up to the back of the rib cage, then your arm is too far back. It should rest nice and lay flat on the rib cage. So maybe the arm needs to move forward a little bit to facilitate that. On your next inhalation, go ahead and just bend your left knee and come all the way down into that low lunge and step it back into downward facing dog. Take your vinyasa or rest. You should be back to the front of your mat. If you're not, spin around. Shift forward if you're taking the flow. Rest the knees if you need to modify. Exhale, lower, come all the way down. Inhale, curl it up. Exhale it down. Inhale, press through your plank, and exhale. We all meet back in downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Hold it here, 3 rounds of breath. Big breath in, big breath out. Big breath in, bigger breath out. Last one, huge inhale, huge exhale. On your next inhalation, sweep your left leg up. Keep it long and keep it straight. Keep the hips and pelvis level as well. Spin the inner left thigh up, draw your right hip back. Now engage your glute muscle a little bit more. See if you can kick through the heel and get your leg up even higher without opening up the hip. And now step it forward to the top of your mat. Come up onto your fingertips. Slowly straighten out your left knee for a pyramid long stance. And move the heart forward as you send the hips back. Hug into the midline. Right heel stays up. You're not staying here for long. Just want to get a little bit of opening through the back of the leg, the front leg. Rebend your left knee. Press down through the left foot and the right. Inhale, reach it all the way up into your high lunge. Here's the fun part. So moving into floating warrior 3, if you will, you're going to take a huge breath in here. Exhale, transfer the weight into the left leg, float the right leg up. Rest the right toes down, inhale back up to the lunge. Exhale. Inhale it up, exhale. 2 more, inhale up, exhale. Last one, inhale up, exhale, hold warrior 3. Arms along the side of the body for now. Release your fingertips down to the earth for supported warrior 3. Big breath in, curl the heart forward as you reach the right leg up. And now exhale, fold into standing splits. Take the left forearm and wrap it around the back of the left calf muscle. Fingertips point down to the ankle and pull yourself deeply into your fold. Keep the hips level as much as you can. May mean the leg doesn't get as high, but that's okay. Whoa, inhale, release. Exhale, bend the left knee, rest the right toes, and now sweep the left leg up and back, 3-legged dog. Shift forward into a plank, bring the left knee into the chest, and rest the shin down so it's in line with the short end of the mat for pigeon pose. Rest your right knee down. So the left knee's moving to the left wrist. Draw the right knee in a little bit so you stay at hips distance. Huge breath in, lift up. Keep that length and exhale, come onto your forearms. Hold it here. Settle into your pigeon pose. Eka Pada Raja Kapotasana. So we're taking this into a bind. However, you can choose to leave the bind out. Okay. Remember your core set. Activate your deep core muscles here to offer support. Gently draw the legs as if you wanted to close them so you feel the inner thighs kick in. They're also guardians of your lower back. So for your bind, walk your right arm a little bit over to the right. You can come up in line with the edge of the mat and lean over to that side. Okay. So walk the right knee further back so you're above your knee joint, the patella, and then flex the ankle and bend the knee. Sweep the left arm way forward, huge breath in. And now exhale, open up and reach back for your right foot. Kick gently into the left hand. Draw the head of the left arm bone back. Draw the right arm bone back so you have that support. Feel the shoulder blade snug and nestle deeply onto the back of the rib cage. Full breath in. On the exhalation, spin the right lung over to the left and up. You can lean into it a little bit and look up towards the ceiling. Remember, this bind is optional. You can just bend the knee and reach back, but you don't have to connect. Or if you really want to try it, grab a strap. to release. Slowly engage your hamstring here carefully so you don't slingshot your right leg away from you. Come back onto your forearms. Here's where we get even a little bit more exciting. Once you've extended your right leg fully, just slide your left foot back and come into a forearm plank. Energetically drag your heels and feet towards each other. You're going to do 5 forearm plank jacks here. So you're hopping the feet out to the width of your mat and back in. Okay, that's what we're going to do 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come back to your forearm plank. Get ready to press up into downward facing dog. Everybody with me? Good stuff. Shift forward into plank. Lower into your chaturanga. Take upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale up and back. Downward facing dog. Hold it here, steady. Take a sip of water if you need it. If you need to rest in child's pose before we go to the second side, do that as well. Anybody taking a break? You can always jump back into the practice when you are ready. Couple more rounds of breath. Okay, right leg, reach it all the way up. Bend your knee and open up the hip. And now step, oh no, don't open up your hip, my bad, sorry. Keep the hips level, keep your legs straight. And now really kick through the ball and heel squeeze your butt cheek and get the leg up even higher. And now step it forward to the top of your mat. Coming up onto your fingertips or taking your hands to blocks or books, slowly straighten out your right knee to any degree. And then draw your hip back. And at the same time, you move your right hip back, move the heart forward. Let the left heel come down towards the mat, but it doesn't have to touch. There can be some space between the heels. So you're not dropping the heel and pivoting. You're keeping your toes pointing forward on both feet. Rebend your right knee. Inhale, come all the way up. Let's get right into it. Warrior 3 flow. Shift forward into your warrior 3. Float the leg up, really stretch it out behind you and drop it back. That's 1. And 2. 3. Keep a bit of a bend in your right knee. 4. Whoops. And 5. Hold your warrior 3. Right hip is moving back. You're spinning the left inner thigh up. Keep a bit of a bend in the right knee. Hold it. Really, really stretch the crown away from the sole of your left foot. And now bring your fingertips to the earth. Huge breath in, heart moves forward, left leg moves back. Now exhale, fold into your standing splits. Right forearm comes to the back of the right calf to help pull you a little bit more deeply. Rebend your right knee, rest the left toes to the back of the mat, sweep the right leg up, 3-legged dog. Shift forward into a plank, bring the knee into the chest, turn it out and rest it down by the wrist, shin comes down. Left knee rests as well. Pigeon pose, second side. Up on your fingertips, huge breath in, and exhale, keep your length, walk it forward, come onto your forearms. Keep a nice long spine here. Remember your neck is part of your spine. So making sure you're not allowing the chin to drop to the chest. Getting ready to move into our bind. So move your left arm over to the left a little bit and then shift your upper body over that way to lean into it, making sure the elbow and the shoulder align with each other. Walk the left knee back a little bit if you can, so you avoid the knee biscuit, and then go ahead and bend your knee and spread the toes wide. Really, really reach on your inhale, the right arm forward. Keep that length as you open up. Sweep the arm around and grab the outside rather, sorry, of your left foot. Take another full breath into the back body, and on the exhalation, spin a little bit more over to the right. Draw the head of the arm bones back and feel them support you on the back of the rib cage, and lift your heart up towards the sky a little bit more. Nicely done, everyone. Slowly and carefully release. Bringing your right forearm back down. Re-extend through the left knee, and I'll slide your right leg back. Come back into your forearm plank. 5 forearm plank jacks. Squeeze everything, and off we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This time, walk your feet in, coming into dolphin. So keep the forearms down for now. Walk your feet in any degree. You can bend the knees, push the floor away from you so there's a bit of protraction through your shoulders. Draw the ribs in, pull the low belly in, hold it here. Get ready to lift off into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So squeeze everything, push down into the palms, stretch them up. Shift forward, last vinyasa here. Sorry, I'm a little bit too far to the front of my mat. Shift forward into your plank, lower into your chaturanga. Take upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. Shift forward into a plank, rest your knees, and then come all the way down onto your belly. And rest. Whew. You can make a pillow with your hands. Zoom yoga is tough. Just rest. So you can bring your toes together, let your heels fall out to the side. Just take it nice and easy here. Breathe into the back. Don't get too comfortable. We still have lots of work to do before we get a real Shavasana. One more round of breath. And then bring the heels back up towards the ceiling. Lift your head off of your lovely comfy pillow here and bring your arms along the sides of your body. You can turn your palms to face your thighs. We're moving into a form of a Shalambhasana locust pose. So stretching the legs as long as you can and spreading the toes and pressing the tops of your feet into your mat. Draw your navel in, ribs in. On your inhalation, breathe into the, draw the shoulders back and breathe into the mid upper back and lift your upper body up and off of your mat. The arms are reaching energetically towards the back of your mat and the crown is reaching energetically towards the front. Remembering your neck is part of your spine. Sometimes we want to get all this height so we start to stick the chin out, but what it does is it can compress the back of the neck and close off the airway. You hear the change in my voice. So just think about keeping the neck long and size of the throat back. And now start to reach your toes away from the pelvis as far away from them as you can get them, and then feel how they want to float up off of your mat. Creating one long extended spine here. Spread the toes, spread the fingers, and reach. One more full breath in, and exhale, release. You can rest your forehead down, heels out, toes in. Okay. Bringing energy back into the legs, bend your elbows and place your hands by the sides of your ribs. Tuck your toes under. Just going to push yourself up to a plank, a kneeling plank. And then walk your feet in and come into a kneeling position as we prepare for camel pose, Ustrasana. If you have a yoga block, if you have two, you can try this. I actually, I think I shared with the group on Thursday morning that I'm doing this online challenge right now with one of my favorite yoga teachers, and she did this variation with camel. Well, it's not really variation, but added another way of engaging the inner thigh by putting a block between the ankles, and it really adds a bit more power to squeeze the block between the ankles. If you have two blocks, you can place one between your ankles and one between your inner thighs, and don't be shy. It's your block. Wedge it in there. Okay, get it in there. So the idea is to remember, I mentioned that the inner thigh muscles, the adductors, are guardians of your lower back, as well as the transversus, which wraps around like it's our own corset that we always have on. We just have to remember to use it. So take your hands to the tops of the hips. We're going to do it the way she did it, but I just want you to make sure that the hips are level and you're squeezing into both of your blocks if you have both. Now, her teacher showed her this concept of taking your thumbs and putting them in your armpits. Now, if you're not keen on that, you don't have to do it. But the idea is to lift yourself up, create that length, and then curl the heart forward and up. So keep that lifting up sensation rather than just dumping into the lower back and creating compression. So if you're comfortable with the armpit thing, go for it. Otherwise, just take your hands to the small of your back and do it that way. You can actively press the pelvis down so you can have that clearance to lift the rib cage up and away from the pelvis, but don't lose that connection to the blocks. It doesn't matter how deep into the back bend you go. Everybody's back bend is going to be different. You can stay here if you're happy and comfortable here and can swallow or say your name. If you want to take it further and you know that you can do so safely, you can release your fingertips to your heels. The choice is yours. When you're ready to get out of it, ground down even more through the pelvis and the legs, and inhale, lift yourself back up, and exhale. You can untuck your toes and have a seat here. If you have your block back here, you can actually sit on that just to give you a bit of support. Just stay here, close your eyes, and just breathe. From here, we're going to move back into a functional forward fold. I just want you to take a moment to let that sit. So her name is Skylar Grant. And I think she said her teacher was Richard Freeman. Okay, let's move into our functional forward fold. So from here, just move your blocks out of your way. Bring your hands down and tuck your toes, and very slowly just walk yourself back and wiggle the feet to as wide as the mat. Knees are keep them bent. Hinge back, so you're shifting your weight to the heels. You're going to walk your hands further away from the feet. And you can always go wider. It feels more comfortable for me to go wide because my mid upper back have got a bit of kyphosis there, so it can feel quite bunched up. But if you have tight shoulders or if you feel a little compressed in the neck and the shoulders, go wider with your arms. Mine are actually as wide as my mat. So take a full breath in and exhale, draw the navel in. Keep moving the inner thighs back. One more huge breath in. And a big breath out. And shift the weight back. And come back onto your hands and knees. Move your left knee into the middle of your mat and bring the right knee behind it. Once you get your legs crossed, move the left foot out to the edge, move the right foot out, and sit back into Gomukhasana, cow face. So I'm going to face you now, and I'm going to sit up on a block. If both of your sitting bones are not grounded on your mat, once you come into this hip opener, please elevate your hips on a block, throw a pillow, or whatever you have handy. So just move the buttocks flesh back as much as you can here. Good. Knees ideally are to be stacked, but if they're not, please don't force it. In fact, if this doesn't feel good at all, leave it out, or you can come onto your back, because sometimes on your back it feels more comfortable. So we're moving into a twist here. So once you're steady and grounded, go ahead and inhale, bring your arms up above your head, bring your palms to meet, and on your exhalation, bring your hands into the heart center. Hinge forward ever so slightly. Take a huge breath in, create that space, that nice long, lovely space we created in that functional forward fold. And now exhale, bring your right elbow to the outside or top of your left thigh. Pause here for a moment, just check in. Take another full breath in. And on the exhalation, you're going to press the left palm into the right and spin the right rib cage and lung towards the left. Draw the left arm bone back and down. And there should be a little bit of an extension here in your twist, just a little bit. So the spine stays long. And again, you can turn your head and then move the eyes. Ground down through the pelvis and inhale, slowly unwind. And exhale, release. So you can get into the other side the way we just got into it, or you can have a little bit of fun. Just remember, don't stop moving until you can see me again, and don't move your feet out of position, but you need to pivot on them as you spin. So the fun way, you're going to come up. Don't get too high. Stay close to the ground. Shift your weight back a little bit so you have a bit more stability, and just walk around in the direction of the leg that is in front. So the left leg is in front, so move over to the right. Keep spinning, keep turning, but don't move your feet. And once you get back to the front, you can see me again. Your right leg should be in front and your left leg should be underneath. If not, something went horribly wrong and you got to start over. Yeah, that's the tricky part, not moving the feet out of position. But you just have to move them, just don't step. Maybe I needed to say that instead. Good. Once you're here, check in. Make sure the sitting bones are grounded and your spine is nice and long and you've got all those juicy curves. Now, once you're ready, inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Hinge forward ever so slightly. Take a huge breath in. Keep that space and exhale it over to your right. Pause here for a moment. Take another full breath in and exhale. Spin a little bit more to the right. Draw the head of the arm bones back. Press the palms, including your fingertips. So the same parts of your hands that are connected to the earth when you're bearing weight on them should be connected now that they're together.
Take a big breath in and slowly unwind from the base of the spine through to the crown. And exhale, release. Untangle your legs. Walk the feet wide. Bring the hands behind you and just take a little windshield wiper action here, very slow. Good. And now come to stillness and just make sure that you're coming onto your back. So just make sure you have room behind you for your head. You're moving right into constructive rest. So on your back, feet move wide and allow your knees to fall in. You can take your hands to your belly, or you can bring them into cactus and just take a few rounds of deep belly breathing here. So you're going to breathe into the belly, feel it expand like a balloon. And exhale, slowly allow all of that air out of the balloon. Bring your knees into your chest, wrap your arms around your shins and give yourself a wonderful, warm and loving embrace. You can rock from side to side. You can stay still and enjoy that feeling, that hug. For the happy baby people in the house, go ahead and take it into your Ananda Balasana. Heels over knees or ankles over knees. Shifting the weight from the lower back into the base there, the sacrum, so the lower back lifts. Take a deep belly breath here in your happy baby. Allow the ribcage expansion as well. Two rounds, clearing it out through the mouth. And now turning it over to you, if there's any other pose that you must do to feel complete in your practice and in your body and mind, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, stretch the legs all the way out. 1 foot to each corner of your mat. The arms alongside your body with the palms facing up or down. Either open or grounding, your choice. And just allow your body to soften. Focus on your breath. And enjoy the next few minutes of quiet relaxation. Once again, becoming aware of your body, becoming aware of your breath, and becoming aware of your surroundings. Inviting movement into your body once again. Just gently starting to wake up, moving your fingers and your toes, stretching it out, taking a big breath in and extending your arms above your head. Exhale it, let it all go. Bring your knees into your chest. And then bring your feet to the floor and make your way onto your side. And then come up and come into a comfortable seated position. I took the liberty, I don't know if any of you are into this, or if you're not, I mean, you can, I apologize, but I thought it would be nice to pull one of my Moonology Oracle cards for our practice today. And funny enough, the one I pulled is emotions are running high, and this is a super moon. And I would imagine we're probably feeling a little bit stressed because of our current circumstance. I just wanted to read to you what it said, and maybe it resonates with you, maybe it doesn't, but here it is. This card suggests that the answer to whatever you're asking is writ large like the silvery full moon set against the velvety night sky. If you're wondering how successful something is going to be, such as a job or relationship, the answer is very. To use common parlance, the answer to your question may well be that it's under your nose. This card is about being larger than life, being special and bursting with energy that you can tune into and work with. You can expect plenty of good things and a positive outcome when this card comes up, but you may find there's a lot of emotion to deal with too. There's also a sense that the opportunities around whatever you're asking about don't come along every day, so take action. Attune to the moon. Success is close. I just must trust. Let that be your affirmation today if something comes up that you're not sure about. Additional meanings, a resolution to your question is closer than you may think. Don't ignore the obvious. Something exciting lies ahead. Make sure you don't blow events out of proportion. Speak to the goddess, ask for her assistance. So bring your hands to your heart. Let's close our practice with the sound of Om, kind of seal in and affirm everything we just read there. So we're going to inhale, exhale through the mouth, and then inhale, exhale, Om. Take a deep breath in. Inhale. Thank you so much, ladies, for sharing your amazing energy with me this morning and trusting me to guide you through your practice today. Be free, be true, and always be you. Blessed be. Thank you so much.